What is going on, everybody? This is your man, Big B. Welcome back to Steelers Almighty. Appreciate everybody being in here, man. We got an off week this week, but football is still going on, man. Our opponents are out there playing as we speak, or at least one of them is playing as we speak. So just kind of wanted to still touch base with you guys, man. It's still a football Sunday. It's still great to be out here. Still great to be a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. No matter what happens today with anybody, the Pittsburgh Steelers are still going to be in first place after this week. Nothing that anybody does can change that fact. So that's something to stand on. So thought the bye happened. I thought at the beginning of the year, I thought it was early, but it is where we are right now, man. So I like the fact the Steelers are getting some rest. We're getting some guys back. We're going to take a look at some things. We're going to take a look at the AFC standings again, kind of where we are, the next three opponents that everybody plays, and then the quarterback situation. We're going to find out that as well. So, it's weird for me today because I got up, I was ready, and then I was like, man, there's no football. There's no Steeler football today. But again, we needed the bye week. I think a lot of people underestimate it. And I know it's early and we got 13 weeks to go. But sometimes it just is what it is, man. When you're beat up and you're still trying to get off to such a good start, you just got to take it when it comes. You know, would it have been nice if maybe it came after week 8, week 9? Probably. But hell, who the hell knows what the Steelers are even going to look like then? You know, the secondary's beat up. Who knows if we even have two quality starters at cornerback by then, the way guys have been going down left and right. So it's been a little bit of a mash unit, especially against the Vikings. It was really a mash unit back there. But they found a way to win. So let's get into this a little bit as far as the North. Obviously, the Steelers are first in the division as of right now. So I like it. They're 3-1. Bengals are 2-2, but Bengals are fading 2-2 and fading fast. The Browns and the Ravens are both 1-3, but the Browns are winning right now. If you guys haven't been watching, the Dylan Gabriel doesn't look awful. They're winning 17-14 with just under 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Dylan Gabriel hasn't looked awful. He's 16 right now. He's 16 for 26, 135 yards. So they're dinking and dunking. He's got 2 sacks, but he's also thrown 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. He hasn't looked terrible. So there's that. They've also run the ball for 125 yards. Judkins is going to have to be dealt with by the Steelers. He's come in and solidified their run game. He has done exactly what they wanted him to do. He's 19 carries, 95 yards. I mean, he's averaging 5 yards a pop. He's going to have to be dealt with. And then on the flip side of that, the Browns, I mean, their defense, they're holding them in check. They are holding them in check. 180 yards through the air, 82 on the ground. I mean, they're kind of doing their thing. Minnesota could probably try to run the ball a little bit more, but they're not. So, and their line can't pass block. It's tricky. It has been tricky. So, but that's where they are right now in that football game. So let's look at it. What the Bengals and the Ravens are both 1-0 in the division. Steelers haven't played anybody in the division yet, and the Browns are 0-2. So that matters. All of that stuff matters, but we'll see as we go along. Steelers are 2-0 in the conference. The Bengals are 2-1. The Ravens are 1-2, and the Browns are 0-2. Again, when it comes to playoff seedings, that kind of stuff matters. So our loss is to Seattle, not in the conference, definitely not in the division. So while you still want to win that game because you want to have the best overall record, we haven't been hurt as far as playoff seedings yet. So we got our main man, David, came in. Appreciate you. He's a member. He says, as you feared, we need to tread lightly. Yeah, tread lightly with the Browns. Exactly what I said, David. You're exactly right. I said it before. I said, look, if the Browns can find some semblance of an offense, look out. because your defense is going to keep you in games. And it's, for the most part, now they got blown out a few times, but it's kept them in some games. If you can just find an offense that's not going to constantly turn it over, I'm just saying, isn't that now, granted, we don't necessarily like Mike Tomlin's formula to win in football games, but it has won at least 8 games 18 years in a row. Play great defense, play great special teams, make enough plays on offense, and you can win the game. That's what the Browns are trying to do with their quarterback situation. They got a great defense. They just want to continue to do that, play great special teams, run the football, and find enough plays to be able to win a game 17-14. Well, they're up right now 17-14. Again, that's not going to win you in the playoffs. That's not going to be conducive to winning in the playoffs, as we know, as Steeler fans. But shoot, you think the Brown fans wouldn't take them with just a winning record? Of course they would. Of course they would. So it's going to be tough. We got a new member, my man Jack Gardner. Thank you, Jack, for supporting the channel and becoming a member, man. Thank you very much. Memberships are wide open, people. So are super chats if you want to help support the channel that way. So what's going on, Mr. Alex King? How you doing today, brother? Appreciate you being here. So I just, I don't know. The Egyptian Queen says, well, Big B, if the Browns win this game, you can't call them trash anymore. I can't stand saying it, but Gabriel, the O-line, and I mean, look, we can still call the Browns trash, but we just have to be realistic. You know, they maybe they have figured something out. It's just one game, but they might have figured something out. You know, Alex says we need to get healthy on defense. Yet to see our guys as a whole. That's true. That's true. We got to get guys back. Got to get guys healthy. The guy that I'm excited to see is Joey Porter Jr. Because this is a big year for Joey Porter Jr. Like, are the Steelers going to extend him? And if they do, what's that look like? You know, has he done enough to get a big time contract? I would say that answer is hell no. But yeah, you probably want to keep him on your football team, but you're not going to give that guy $20 million a year. He hadn't earned anywhere close to that. So what's going on, Mr. Cornell Banks? I appreciate you being in here, man. It is stress-free. We do need to enjoy it being stress-free. Just watch the games and say, what can we do? What can we not do? Marty's Ghost said, there's Big Dog. He said, hope Yens are having a great Sunday. I don't care if they went undefeated. Browns are trash. That's kind of the way I feel about it, man. I'll never be able to bring myself to say that the Browns are anything other than trash. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So, but looking at it, you know, the next 3 opponents. So let's break down the division and the next 3 opponents. So let's start off with the Browns. The Browns play us. They play the Dolphins. They play the Patriots. I mean, again, coming off of what we're seeing right now, if we're being honest, the Browns, and now granted, I think the Steelers are going to beat the Browns, but they can go 2-3. They can beat the Dolphins. They can beat the Patriots. I mean, that can happen for the Browns. You know, if they play like they're playing today, that absolutely can happen. You look at the Ravens. Now, the Ravens, you talk about a team, you think we're beat up, the Ravens are beat to hell. The Ravens are beat to hell. So, so they play the Texans, the Rams, and the Bears. The Ravens could lose all 3 of those games. They could literally lose all 3 of those games. If Lamar Jackson's not playing, and now Kyle Hamilton might be out, I mean, they're beat up everywhere. Everywhere. They could literally lose all 3 of those games. And as a Steeler fan, we want them to lose all of those games. Because as the Ravens do get healthy, I feel like they'll get better because we've seen it happen. We've seen that. So, you know, nobody wants them to be hurt. I just want them to lose the games. That's all. And if they lose those games because they're hurt, so be it. That's not my problem, not your problem, not anybody's problem but theirs. You know, We didn't cause their injuries. We're not wishing them to be hurt. But if you are and you get beat, that's not my problem. Because nobody feels sorry for the Pittsburgh Steelers because our secondary's beat up. Nobody feels sorry for us. So why do we have to feel sorry for them? We don't. We absolutely don't. So, but getting back into this in a minute, Jack said, I'm really hoping to see JPJ and Ramsey on the field at the same time sometime this season. Hopefully they'll be both available during the tough part of the schedule at the end. Exactly. That's where we need them. That's where we need them. Well, we need them now, but we need them to just be healthy first. That would be the first thing. We need to see them healthy. So Cornell says, about time Browns figured something out, the amount of wasted top draft picks. No, you're not lying about that. You're not lying about that. So, hey, Big B, I'm learning about the O-line blocking techniques from you, my man. I thank you for that. Well, I appreciate it, David. I just try to break it down the way that I know how to break it down. Some people get mad and they're like, why can't this video be faster? And you could have done this in 10 minutes and just show us the highlights. I'm like, first of all, these are not highlights. This is not what this is. We're breaking down film. And you don't break down film in 10 minutes. You don't break down film in 20 minutes. That's not how it's done. You break it down how you break it down. It might take an hour if you want to show enough, and that's what we do. So, I just try to break it down as simple as possible. So I appreciate you all's support, man. But getting back to it. So now let's look at the Bengals. The Bengals' next 3 games, and like I said, the Bengals are fading fast, man. But the Bengals, their next 3 are the Lions, the Packers, and us. The Bengals could easily be 0-3. They could be 0-3. I don't see where the help is coming. Like, yeah, their quarterback's out, but he's not coming back. And their head coach is steadfast in Jake Browning, although Jake Browning has had his moments. We've seen him have some moments. But the last couple of games, he's looked terrible. Not bad. He's looked terrible. Well, if he's going to continue to look terrible, ladies and gentlemen, then it is what it is. Like, what are we supposed to do with that? I don't see where the help is coming. Like, they don't have a bunch of defenders out. They don't have a bunch of O-linemen out. They're just bad. They're just a bad team. And I don't see it getting better. I really don't. I don't see the Bengals getting better. And if they lose those 3 games, who knows what that locker room is even going to look like. And they may trade Trey Hendrickson because he's not under contract next year. They may say, you know what, we're selling at the trade deadline and try to move on. No Joe Burrow, team's out of it. Why not move on and try to get some draft capital to a team that's going to make the playoffs? I'm just saying. So keep your eye on the Bengals over the next couple of weeks. Keep your eyes on them. Then we come to us. We play the Browns, Bengals, and Packers. We can beat the Browns. Out of that right there, I'll be honest with you. The Browns are the toughest game. Division, they know us well. And what they do defensively is what we do bad offensively. Protect the quarterback and run the football. They can stop the run and they get after your quarterback. The Browns are, and I know some people are like, oh, Big B, you're crazy. It's the Packers. No, it isn't. We just watched the Dallas Cowboys go up and down the field on the Green Bay Packers. And that's with a fully healthy, fully integrated Micah Parsons. And here's the thing. Dallas Cowboys, they were without 3 starting offensive linemen for the entire game. That happened. They were without CeeDee Lamb in that football game. That happened. Okay? So they didn't really have that great of a running game, but they were able to run the football, and they put up 40 points. 40 on the Green Bay Packers. Now, I'm not saying that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to put up 40 points, but if you're telling me that the backup offensive line is better than this Steeler starting line, I'm not going to believe that. I believe the Steelers have an opportunity. They can win that game. Again, like I said, I think the Browns pose a tougher game than what the Packers do. And I know the Packers got a good offense, and they can throw it. but I think the Steelers can get after him. The Cowboys did, and the Cowboys defense stinks. I mean, they don't have any pass rushers. They have none. None. So that's my thing. I'm right there. I think the Browns pose the biggest threat of anybody of those three, our next three opponents. I think it's the Browns. Now you look at quarterback situation. Like the Steelers, what is our quarterback situation compared, just comparing it to the rest of the division? I think the Steelers quarterback situation is solid. Look, Aaron Rodgers has been hit a lot, but he played the quarterback. He's played the quarterback position very well. He doesn't have the most gaudy yards, and I've warned you guys before. I've warned you guys for the last year and a half about PFF. They have Aaron Rodgers rated as the 36th best quarterback of all quarterbacks that qualify. That's basically quarterbacks that have played. They think Aaron Rodgers is the 36th best quarterback. And they're basing most of that on he's had 5 plays that were turnover-worthy plays, and he doesn't push the ball down the field, not great, between 10 and 20 yards. Okay. Steelers are 3-1. He's not the reason they lost the game that they lost. And he played pretty decent football. Hell, after the game against the Jets, they had him the 28th ranked. The man was like 18. I think he was 18 for 22, 244, 4 touchdowns, 28th best. So, like I said, you take it with a grain of salt, man. You take it with a grain of salt. So, and that's the difference. That's the difference. So I like Aaron Rodgers there. The Browns, look, they benched Joe Flacco, and Gabriel doesn't look horrible. Like I mentioned, he doesn't look horrible. As of now, with 5 minutes to go, 17 of 29, 146, and 2 touchdowns. Now, he's only averaging 5 yards a reception. So, he's not pushing the ball down the field at all, but he's also not turning it over. So, he's not playing horrible. I know there's some people out there that thought he was just going to stink. He doesn't. He doesn't. Judkins has over 100 yards now. So, I don't know, people. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that quarterback situation. Now, again, one game, you can play great for one game. How many guys have we seen in the NFL play great one game? 3 games. We've seen it. And then you get a little tape on them, and then the wheels start to fall off. We'll see if that happens to Dillon Gabriel. But as of what we've seen right now, so we'll see. Then the Ravens. Look, Lamar's hurt, depending on how it's this. If Lamar is out for an extended period of time, the Ravens are in trouble. If he's not, the Ravens have a chance. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. So if he's going to be out 8 weeks with this hamstring thing, then they're in trouble. I don't care about Cooper Rush and some of the games he won as the Cowboys. I don't want to hear it. That team is built around what Lamar Jackson can do, not what Cooper Rush can do. So even if they change the entire game plan, which they will, and they'll lean on the run even more, it's just not going to work. It's not going to be the same over the long period of time. Can they win some games? Sure they can, but they're not the same, and we all know that. We know that. And then the Bengals, look, with Burrow being out, Jake Browning playing bad, I know a lot of people are saying, hey, they should trade for Jameis Winston. Maybe they should. Like, what would be the purpose not to? Look, is he going to throw the football to the other team a lot? Yes, he is. He's absolutely going to. But he's also going to throw it to your guys a lot too. So the high risk, high reward, it is what it is. But we'll see. They believe in Jake Browning, but the last 2 games have been pretty pathetic. So we'll see, man. We'll see. So, but that's where the quarterback situation is. My man Tyler says, as long as the backup isn't Flacco, we will be okay. Yeah, I mean, they got the Browns, they got Flacco as the backup. You know how we don't adjust to backup quarterbacks very well in game. Lord have mercy, that was bad last year in Indianapolis. So I wouldn't be worried about Dylan Gabriel. He running out of the pocket a lot against it. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. It also will depend if the Steelers try to trick him. You know, if the Steelers do that and they try to trick him, then I think we're going to see some stuff. I think that'll be where the difference comes in. But if they don't, and we just want to sit back and play vanilla, well, then, yeah, he can pick us apart. He can absolutely pick us apart. So I don't think the Steelers are going to get – I know somebody asked, are the Steelers going to get a wide receiver too? I don't think so. I mean, there's reports that Calvin Austin may not miss time. I think he's probably going to miss 2 games. If he doesn't, that's great. But I think he's going to miss at least 2 games. So, but I don't think the Steelers are going to do anything in the time being. I don't. I think they're just going to stand pat, and this is where we are. Now, if it comes out and that Calvin Austin has to miss like 6 weeks, and we play this game against the Browns and guys can't get open, then the Steelers are going to be like, okay, we got to do something. We got to make a move. But if it's 2 games and everybody's okay, even if they play bad in these 2 games, if he's only out 2, they're not going to make a move. But if he's got to be out for an extended period of time and guys can't get open, then I think they'll make a move. I think they will. So we'll see. So, but I know we're clamoring for it, but it's still the offensive line is still the biggest issue for the Steelers. And that's not going to get any better this year. I mean, you're not going to go out there and find an offensive lineman that's going to be an upgrade. I mean, all that kind of stuff's done in the offseason. Steelers, this is what it is this year. This is just what it is. Unless those guys get better individually from week to week, it's not going to look any better. It's not going to get better. You're not going to get somebody off the street that's going to be better. That's just not reality. Offensive linemen are a big-time commodity, especially good ones. People aren't just giving those away. So, and they're not just sitting on the street. You've seen all the offensive line injuries that have happened. Look at Minnesota. You don't think Minnesota could use another tackle or another guard? They absolutely could. But those guys that can help them just aren't out there. So we can look, and they played great against the Vikings. Can we start stacking good games? You know what I'm saying? Can we start doing that from the offensive line? If we can't, and next week is going to be a huge challenge. Look, we can make fun of the Browns all we want. The Browns defense is good. The Browns defense is good. So you got to be willing to dive in and take the good with the bad and fight. I thought that's what the line did last week. They fought. You know, McCormick, Faetanu, Jones, all of them. They all fought. So if they're willing to do that next week and understand, yeah, there's going to be 2 or 3 plays in a row where they're just going to beat us. Okay. Well, don't let them beat us 4 times in a row, 5 times in a row. You know, eventually you got to start winning reps. You got to start winning reps. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let me get some of these comments. So as long as we don't trick ourselves again, like the end of last game. Yeah. So, and yeah, Tomlin is pretty good after the bye week. Said our interior offensive line is fine. Broderick has got to go. The offense, I don't care what happens the rest of the year or this offseason. He's got to go. Well, I mean, and let me ask you this, Tyler. If Broderick turns it around, I mean, remember, it's been 4 games. So you're telling me that you'd be willing to give up on Broderick if he played good for 13 straight weeks? I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that's realistic. I get what you're saying. And, well, that's never going to happen, Big B. Okay, fine. Maybe it doesn't. But He played good against Minnesota. He played okay against Minnesota. The first 3 weeks, he's been bad. But we've seen him get a little bit better. But there's no way that you would say, well, we got to get rid of Broderick if he plays good for 13 weeks in a row. Now, do I think that's going to happen? Hell no. I don't think that's going to happen. But we can't just be willing to say after 4 games, I don't care what happens. Doesn't matter. We're ready to give up on him. That's not true. That's not true. So that's not true. And I wouldn't say that you said you would bet on him regressing. So I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't bet your house on him getting worse. How is he going to get worse than what he's looked like right now? So I don't know. I think the O-line is going to get better. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So we'll see what happens. They are playing Darnell Milton, but you're kidding yourself if you think Darnell Washington is ready to be a left tackle today. I think it's something that could happen in the future if he chooses to do that, but not this season. He's not ready to do that. He's not ready to do that. But in the future, like if the Steelers just say, you know what, Darnell, we love you at tight end, but we think you can be an all-pro left tackle. What do you want to do? You want to continue to play tight end? Even if it's not here with the Steelers, you're going to get minimal usage in the passing game, and most teams are going to use you as a blocker. Or we think you can be an all-pro left tackle. What do you want to do? But you're not going to transform him in the middle of the season. That's not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. So body's got to look different, all that good stuff. So all that good stuff. Yeah, no watch party today, members. If you're a Hall of Fame member, no watch party today. But after the first games today, we'll be back to talk about what happened in those games because I'll be out there looking at them. So I will absolutely be looking at games. Don't tell anybody, but my wife is thinking that I'm going to help with set up Halloween decorations. I'm just not even going to go downstairs. I'm just going to stay upstairs and watch football and see if she even misses me. You think that's a possibility? I'm just not even going downstairs. I'm just, as soon as we're done here, I'm just going to quietly walk over and start watching TV. We'll see what happens. We'll see. If my dog doesn't rat me out, I'll be okay. But if my dog rats me out, I'm like, oh, gosh. So, but we'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. But yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to happen the second half of the it's not even the second half of the season. Hell, I'm saying second half of the season. It's just after the bye. It's after the bye. Like we're not halfway home yet. We are not halfway home. This is not college football. You know, college football, those teams are pretty much are close to halfway home. We are not there yet. We are not there yet. There's plenty of football left for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm excited about it. I am absolutely excited about it. It should be fun. But we do have to improve. We got to improve. We got to get better play from our offensive line. We got to get better play from our defensive line and our secondary. You know, we've just got some holes. We've got some holes. But if we can get healthy, and the communication on defense starts to work, I think we got a shot. I do. I think we got a shot. So let me check in on this Browns game. So Minnesota's got the ball. Minute 10 left. 21-yard pass. Hold on. Where am I at? Yeah, Minnesota's got the ball, and they're looking to drive. Trying to score. So, what is the percentage that Big B ends up putting up decorations today? Man, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. See, and here's the key, fellas, in case y'all were wondering. I helped before I got on here. You know what I'm saying? I helped before we went live. So that way she's like, you know what? He already helped. He did some stuff. And that's my ploy. If you help early, help early, then you don't have to help often, and definitely not later. So we'll see. We will see. We'll see what's happening. So Milton says the Browns are going to lose this game. They might, man. They might. They're trying to. I mean, it's at the Cleveland 27, so they're in field goal range. We'll see. 100% I put up decoration. Y'all are just not even going to be on my side, boy. The chat, y'all will turn your back on me in a heartbeat. Lord, have mercy. In a heartbeat, y'all will turn on me. What have I done? What have I done? We'll see. We'll see. So I can't wait till we get all the decorations up. Then I'll take a video for y'all, for the members. I'll put it in there in the chat so y'all can see, for the members to see what the house looks like. It gets wild at the Hanley house for Halloween. It gets wild. It gets wild. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at with it, man. Hopefully these Steelers, they can get healthy. Hopefully they got an opportunity to win some games. Like I said, these next three, the Browns, Bengals, and Packers, in this order, I think it's Browns, Packers, Bengals as far as difficulty. That's what I think. In that order. Browns, Packers, Bengals. Two of those are at home. One of those is on the road in Cincinnati, but we kind of own the Bengals in Cincinnati. So I just, if the Steelers can get out of this 3-0, out of this stretch, and they can go 3-0, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of people, including myself, that think the Steelers would have been 6-1 after 7 games this year. If they can get there, depending on what the rest of the division looks like, because it doesn't look good right now. Does not look good right now. And the one thing about Baltimore's schedule, you look at the last 8 games of Baltimore's schedule, it gets easy. Or easier, I should say. It gets easier. So we got to try to make some hay when we can make some hay, people. So I appreciate y'all being in here, man. Come back later on after the first games are over today. Thank you guys again, as always, for showing up and showing out. And I will talk to you guys soon, man. And aloha.